MSXDev'20 competition has come to an end and once again presenting amazing games for the MSX. This year there were 21 participants with a wide variety of genres, from platforms to shoot-'em-ups. This year's competition focused on the MSX1 machines with its original configuration when it came out. It consists in a Zilog Z80 running at 3.58 MHz, a video chip TMS9918 or TMS9928, a sound chip IY38910, cassette interface, 16K of RAM and 16K of video RAM. The jury panel for this edition was comprised of John Hasink and Konamito, who had to give a score from 1 to 5 in the following categories: graphics, sound, gameplay, originality, and how polished the game is. Since the idea is to foment new games for the platform, the second best way to do this is by giving money, right? Of course, the first is being adored by communities. We never can forget about that. With being adored already settled, the organizers were able to gather nothing less than €515 from donations. The first place received 50% or €257, and the second place put on his pocket or her pocket €154, and the third place €103. To complete the prizes, 8 Bits Forever in Lauren chipped in with a donation of a 512 SD cartridge and a Retro Beat 6-button Sega Mega Drive controller, which were given to the first and second place respectively. Now, let's get to the point. The first place is the Menace from Triton, followed by Relevo's Snowboarding, only half point behind. Snagging the third place, we have Stupid Merchants. The MSXDev'20 organizers had created a full 163-page report containing all details about the games and the judge's evaluation of each one of them for each one of the requisites. I found this a very good idea and respectful to all participants, who will be able to know what the judges thought about their games and why they've got the scores they've got. Since it's a very long report and we know not everybody will read it, here's a summary of the 3 best games. The first one is the Menace of Triton, which scored 22.5. Let's see what the judges had to say about it. In terms of graphics, John Hasink found the game very detailed and colorful, and despite some shortcomings, he gave the game 5 out of 5 because of its cool designs for player, enemies, boss creatures, planets, and graphical interface in general. Konamito gave it a 4 out of 5 for its detailed and animated sprites, different planets with lots of good animations and details, and the game's smooth scroll at any time. For sound, both judges scored the game 4 out of 5. John found the music production a bit underwhelming, suggesting that it could have more effects like a vibrato and detuning in general, which makes me believe Hasink is a very seasoned musician. Despite the initial criticism, Hasink found the whole combination of different in-game music and good sound effects worth the score he has given for this category. Konamito found the variety of musics for each level and planet to be good, but they were a bit unbalanced in terms of quality, of some excellent and others not so much. On the sound effects, Konamito was very happy, saying that it creates a perfect space battle feeling. For the gameplay, the judges agreed that the game is hard, not targeting the novice player. Hasink actually gave 4 out of 5 mostly because the game is too hard, which took out a bit of fun. Most of the statements are positive though. There are a difficult progression system as you move forward, the controls are smooth and accurate, and the action is thrilling. Although shoot-'em-up are not something new for the MSX platform, the Menace of Triton added strategic elements like the weapon management and procedural generation, giving the game amazing replayability. This category received the maximum score from both judges. Polish. With a commercial-grade attention for details including graphics, music, and so on, both John and Konamito have given the game 5 out of 5. The complete manual also caught the attention of the judges, helping with the score. Let's take a look at the Menace of Triton now. For the second place, we have Relivos Snowboarding, which scored 22. Graphics. Both judges gave the game the high score for the graphics. Actually, both mentioned that this game pays rightful homage to the early Konami games. The pseudo 3D effect is very convincing, and the dialogues that shows up at the top of the screen with warnings and words of encouragement adds to the overall experience. Special mention for the player's sprites and cool animations for slaloms, jumps, tricks, crashes, and stage ending. Sounds. Another max score here. The game presents a wonderful soundtrack with 9 tracks that capture perfectly the Konami feel. The sound effects also perfectly represents what is happening with the player on screen. The game has 2 composers, but they were in sync and were able to create a very uniform soundtrack for the game. Hassink even adds that this is the best soundtrack in the competition. Gameplay. Although both judges gave the game a 4 out of 5, they didn't have the same overall experience, maybe due to personal tastes. Konamito found the controls very good, but the player would need time to learn it, mostly for the tricks while jumping. Even with 16 different stages, he found himself doing the same thing over and over throughout them, stating at the end that was not so fun for me. Hassink found the controls extremely tight and liked that the game gives the player the option to select different words and they will make a difference. It's not only for aesthetics. He also finds the game a bit repetitive, but since it has a lot of secrets to be discovered, the completionist player will play again many times. Originality. Clearly, this category made the game lose the first place. Both judges agreed that the game, although excellent and featuring snowboard, is not very original, mimicking almost religiously the old Konami style. Still, a 3 out of 5 is not bad at all. On a personal note, this is a bit unfair, since the game clearly aimed to be as close as the classic Konami games could be, so it was bound to not be original, right? Polish. If originality wasn't the strength of the game, the final product neared perfection. Getting the high score from both judges, Relivos Snowboarding is also a commercial-grade game, including beautiful manual, excellent graphics and sound effects. The existence of secret passwords and special stages complete the game fun factor. On the third place, we have Stupid Martians, scoring 20. Graphics. Hassink gave it a 4 out of 5, saying that although the graphics are a bit crude, they get the job done. On a high note, he adds that being a bullet hell type of game, it displays the hail of bullets very accurately, and with no slowdowns. Konamito was tougher, giving a 3 out of 5 for the graphics. He found the bullets small and a bit confusing to spot. Sound. Both judges liked the 3 in-game music with a highlight for the House of Monsters. The sound effects brought the score down for being too repetitive, and also for not indicating if it was the player or the enemy that is being hit, which in my opinion affects drastically the gameplay. Even with these flaws, the category got 4 out of 5 from both judges. Gameplay. Also getting 4 out of 5 from both judges, Stupid Martians featured frantic. Also getting 4 out of 5 from both judges, Stupid Martians featured frantic arcade action. Both like that there are 3 attack modes and the player must master them in order to survive. Also getting 4 out of 5 from both judges, Stupid Martians features frantic arcade action. Both like that there are 3 attack modes and the player must master them in order to survive. They also highlighted the good enemy attack patterns, which are cleverly implemented. Async found the collision detection too harsh, which makes almost impossible to dodge the bullets due to the flickering effect. Originality. Stupid Martians, with a variety of attacks the player can use during the game, plus the fact that the MSX doesn't have too many bullet hell shoot-'em-ups, granted maximum score in this category from both judges. Polish. Despite the mention to crude graphics earlier, the game scored 4 out of 5 and 3 out of 5 from Async and Konamito respectively. From his score, Konamito mentions that having more details in the background would help the game to look better. Async found the worlds and enemy design superb. The existence of dialogues in the control room was another nice touch. Against the game final product was some of the dialogues that could have used more proofreading. You can find the complete classification of all games in our website. Just take a look at the description below and follow the link. Thanks for watching.